Is this you when you're playing Pokemon Pocket TCG? The reason you're losing is because you aren't you aren't keeping track of your opponent's cards. Your opponent has got a certain deck. You kind of know what the deck is. For example, if they're running Celebi, you know they're most likely going to have another Celebi in the deck. It could be a Mew, it could be a full grass. You want to keep track of what they have. They're going to have an Erica. There's going to be two. Are you keeping track to see what your opponent has used and what is left in their deck? Because if they got 8 cards left in their deck and the only thing left they can need to survive is an Erica, then you know it's a 1 out of 8 chance that they're going to grab it. But if they still have, say, 2 Pokeballs and they still haven't drawn all their Pokemon, then they could limit the amount of cards they're going to have left in their deck this turn so that they have a better chance of getting it. And what you need to be able to do is identify what the possibility is and what plays you can make to protect yourself from when it happens. So, like I said, we're going to examine a few matches. The first match I want to do is against a Meta Mewtwo deck. Alright? We're going to have a look at that, and we're going to see how we played against it with I would say not so meta deck, but it will be eventually. So, of course, we win the coin toss. That's a good start. So we know we're going second. Now, as we can see what's in my hand, we've only got a Mew. But we got Pokeball, Professor's Research, Sabrina, and a Budding Expedition. I can never remember the word. But this is what's in their hand. We got double of each of these in our deck. I think at this moment of time, we only have one of the Expeditioners, so we have to be careful. Now, the whole goal of this deck is you have to understand how your deck runs. With a deck like this, the whole goal is to get Gengar EX out. Now, if you can't get Gengar EX out, because let's say it's a rush deck or the deck does too much damage, then we want to stick with Mew and try to use Mew. For example, Celebi is too quick to sometimes get Gengar out. So what we want to do in that case is focus on Mew. But you can only know this depending on what your opponent's start Pokemon is. We don't know what it is yet, but I did say what it is. It's a Mewtwo deck. So in the Mewtwo deck's case, we do have the time to get Gengar out, but it's probably more beneficial to use Mew and try to copy Mewtwo's attack. So, again, we've spoken a lot. Let's see what opponent plays. So look, Mewtwo EX. Mew EX. We're going first, which means we're going to get the energy advantage, which is good for us. So, let's see what he does. So he's got another Mewtwo. So we know what's left in his deck at this moment is most likely going to be the Gardevoir line. So let's say he's got 3 double of each, 6 Pokemon guaranteed. Mew is in this deck, but we don't know this at the moment. So all we know is he's got 6 Pokemon left. He uses a Pokeball, and if he plays a Mew, then we know that he has Mew. Let's have a look. And he plays a Ralts. So the likelihood is he's going to try and get Krillin. I can never remember the word. Get the first stage evolution and then put a Gardevoir on. So we're limited. We don't know what he's got left in his hand, but there's a possibility he might have them. So we got to play off of the possibility. So my turn. We draw another Mew. Now the first thing we would do is use Pokeball. Why Pokeball and not Professor's Research? Well, remember what I said. The deck is running Ghastly. I know I'm going to get a Ghastly. Now the worst case scenario could be, let's say we use Professor's Research and we drew 2 Ghastlies. Now I've got a useless Pokeball in my hand that I can't use. So, it's better to use the Pokeball. And once you've used the Pokeball, we're then able to guarantee that the next card, let's say we do draw a Ghastly as well. But the next card isn't going to be a Ghastly, and I've still got another Pokeball in my deck. So you want to use the Pokeballs to get the Ghastly, and hope the Professor's Research provides us with more support cards. So, Pokeball, we'll see what we get. Ghastly, of course. There we go. Then we use Professor's Research. And let's see what Professor's Research brings. Let's see what we're going to get. Red card, Sabrina. Bear in mind, anyone who says red card is trash doesn't understand how to play the card, okay? Red card is a good card. I recommend only a run 1. It has scenarios where it's useless, like every card does, but it is a good card to have one of, in my opinion. Especially if your opponent uses 2 Professor Researchers, got 7 cards in their hand, and then you red card them, they have no more drawing power, you most likely going to win. Or if you know the likelihood is, hey, they've got this in their hand, they're going for an evolve, then you want to play that red card to disrupt it. Now, 100 times you won't know, and you don't want to really run the card that shows your opponent's hand, but you can sometimes tell based off of the actions your opponent makes. Now, let's see what we do. So, as I said, we want to focus on Mew, because Mew is going to be able to knock out a Mewtwo with 150 damage. But not only that, we haven't got Haunter or Gengar. So, it's a gamble if we play on Ghastly, because there's no guarantee we're going to get the cards. So it's better to just keep using Side Shot, and if we get into a scenario where we get all our energies on before he gets a Gardevoir out, then we can knock out Mewtwo. So, Mythical Slab. This card, was this a good play? Well, think about what our opponent has used. They've got Ralts, Mewtwo, Mewtwo, and that means that's 3 Psychic Pokemon out of their deck. We know they have guaranteed another 5 more. With the amount of cards they've used, it's a 50% chance they're going to most likely draw a Psychic type. So it's a good play, really. But you don't want to do it if, say, it's a 25% chance, which I will show you in a battle afterwards. So here we go. We got Krill. I wish you could see the name, but we got first stage evolution. He's Sabrinaed. This was a bad play. Why is this a bad play? Well, he's hoping to disrupt my Mew EX before he can get Gardevoir out and put the energy on Mewtwo. See, that would be smart, but this is a problem. He doesn't know what I have in my hand. I've not shown him if I have, say, I think it's a leaf that lets me reduce my retreat cost by 2. He doesn't know if I have a, I can't remember the name of these words. The card that makes it so that I can retreat faster by reducing the energy cost, the retreat cost by 1. He doesn't know what I have. So there was no reason to use Sabrina. He should have held on to it. At least let Mew have 2 energy before you even considered it, so you could see what I'm going to do. But doing what he's just done now is very bad. Because, again, in my deck, the aim is to have Mew retreat and get Gengar out. I am actually going to focus on Mew this duel. But he doesn't know that. So why would you use Sabrina? That's a misplay. You should hold on to it till you know or have an idea of what your opponent's going for. So that was a bad play. Because now, look, I'm just going to send out another Mew. Yes, I'm not going to focus on using my free energy attack and move. But he doesn't know what I have. So, Ghastly, I play it. Because, again, it's good to have other choices if I need to sacrifice one. That's all it's there for, a sacrifice to keep my Mews alive. I put an energy on the one in the back row. So now it's always going to be there, which means Mewtwo comes out, knocks out any of my Pokemon. I will just use a Mew and knock out Mewtwo. He's put himself in a predicament. So he's just used Professor Research. That's good. He can't use another support card this turn. He sends out a Mew. That changes everything. Now I know he has Mew in his deck. I didn't know this before. He's told me he has Mew. He most likely has 2 of them. I think that's a bit too much in the deck. But that means he's going to have Gardevoir come out, Mewtwo, Mewtwo, and a Mew. He might have a Budding Expeditioner. That's the word. I don't know. I can't know. Because, again, I can't see his hand. But what I do know is that because he's played a Mew, I know what I'm working with. I have Sabrinas in my deck. He don't know what's in my hand. I know he has 1 Sabrina left because he wasted it. He shouldn't have told me that. He ain't going to play another support card. He's going to focus on the U2. I can see that happening. Now, let's see what he does. Is he going to switch off of the fear? No, he doesn't switch. He's hoping that I have no way of getting my Mew out. Now, blue was in the deck only because I didn't have another Budding Expeditioner at the time. So it's a useless card. But, as you can see, I've put it on Mew. It's got 3 energy. So now if he knocks me out, I will knock him out. And he hasn't got a Gardevoir or a Mewtwo that can set up in time. So he's most likely not going to touch me. If anything, he's probably going to switch into his Krillity. I'm going to call it that for now. He's most likely going to switch to it. Because if you switch to that Pokemon, I can't use Mew to knock it out. So he can sit and then try to basically build up. Unfortunately for him, I do have Sabrina, but he has a Mew on the field. And because he has a Mew, there's no point in me switching, because if I switch his Pokemon, he's going to go straight into Mew, and I have no use of viewing it. This is the things you have to think of if you want to play a meta deck. You have to look at what your opponent has, what you have, and be able to calculate what the possibilities are and play around that. You can have the best deck in the world, a Celebi deck, and have the perfect field. But if you're not thinking about what your opponent done, what your opponent has left, what plays your opponent can do, and what you've got in your deck, you're never going to be able to move to that next step. So, getting back to it, he's got his Mewtwo, he's going to switch. He doesn't switch. He doesn't switch. Oh, sorry, it's opponent's turn. He's starting now. So let's see if he switches. Realistically, he'll switch. That's what I'm expecting. And he puts an energy on Mew. Interesting choice, I don't know why. He sends out Mew, got rid of both its energies on Mewtwo, which now he's starting from scratch, and he's attacking with Psyshot. So he's going to try and knock out my Mew with his Mew, because he knows he'll win that stage. So, as you can see, my last Professor Research. We're going to use that, and we're going to put a fourth energy on Mew. That was a mistake. I'm not even going to judge it. That was a complete misplay. I wasn't paying attention. I done that by mistake. So, my Mew has got another energy on it, like an idiot. Hunter comes out. Perfect. I've got Gengar. So, he would like to have a red card at this point. He might have one. Why do I red card? He's got 4 cards, and I'm red carding. Is that a smart play? It's a 50-50, really. 1, I could be giving him a Gardevoir. 2, he could already have the Gardevoir drawn as the next card. Or, he might have had support cards I didn't like. I don't know. But I used the red card just to disrupt it and throw him off. That basically means whatever he had planned, he's now got to readjust. Sometimes you just do it because somebody might have something in mind, and then you want to just disrupt it, so they got to think again of, oh, what can I do? But it's not a misplay, it's not a good play, it's a 50-50 because we don't know. So, but it does make him lose a card, so he won't have 5 cards next turn, he'll have 3 and go back into 4. So he draws his card. I have no energy on my Mew because, again, I actually did misplay. He's going to evolve. He gets his Gardevoir now, which means Mew can get free energy on it, which means if he had something to use it on, it would be great. But since he doesn't have anything to use it on, he's probably not going to bother. He's probably going to use it on Mewtwo. He uses Professor Oak as well, so he's skimming his deck very far down. Red card. See that? That's a good use of red card. That's a better play than me. So, X-Speed. That's the card. X-Speed. So, he's giving me a bit of a good hand too, but I did lose Gengar, so that's the problem. But looking at my hand now, I've got X-Speed, 2 Sabrinas. So as soon as I can knock out the Mew or the Gardevoir, I control this duel. So that's the goal now. Why do I control the duel? Why have I got to knock out Mew or Gardevoir? Simple. If I knock out a Mew or Gardevoir, he'll play Mewtwo, I switch it out, knock out... Really, you want to knock out Gardevoir? No, sorry. If I play Mew or Gardevoir, because I've got Mew in the backline with the energies on it, no matter what, he doesn't want to play Mewtwo out because I'll just one-tap it. Unless he can have enough energy on his Mewtwo and guarantee that he trades... I trade first, then he trades, and then he'll finish me off. But because Mew's in the backline, he doesn't want to make that trade. Especially, he can't use Sabrina because I've got a Hunter there and a Ghastly. So I will always bring that forward. So at any point, if he makes a trade, I'm going to win. And because I've got 2 Sabrinas in my hand now, I control what happens as soon as I knock out one of its Pokemon. So all I've got to do is use Sabrina, make Gardevoir come out, hit Gardevoir, he'll switch his Pokemon, he might bring Mewtwo out and try and knock me out, but he'll most likely spend his time switching Gardevoir. Then I'll switch again, I could knock it out a second time, and then I just got to knock out one Pokemon. And if I have a Mew in the backline, I win. So it's a debate now on what options I'm going to use. And that's the thing you need to do. You need to be able to look at a match and think to yourself, what are my winning conditions at this moment in time? What is likely to happen? What can I do to win? You don't want to be thinking, oh, let me just go for this combo, and if this combo works, I win. No, you need to think, what are my conditions at this moment in time? What's left of my deck? What plays do I have? And if you do that, you'll go a lot further. So again, drawn Sabrina, 2 of them, an X-Speed. Still his turn. He's used red card. Goes for Psyshot. As you can see, he really, really wants to get rid of my Mew because that's a guaranteed win for him. I've got Pokeball. Now, have I got anything I can get with Pokeball? No. I have 2 Mews, 2 Gastlys, all gone. I can use Pokeball to make it so that if he has another red card, it's useless. Or I could just hold on to it and make him, be scared. I think either's fine, but you realistically don't want to have it go back into your deck in case they do. Now, as you can see, I'm now debating. Do we retreat the Mew now? No. I'm going to be able to on Haunter to scare him. So, put an energy on Haunter. I'm going to leave Mew in for one more turn. Or should I? So I leave Mew in for one more turn. Is he going to put Mewtwo out like I want? He won't, because he knows if he puts Mewtwo out, I win. I'm baiting my opponent. It's chess. You want to make your opponent think. So this person's actually very good. He's good. Because if he was just someone who had a meta deck, didn't know what he was doing, the first thing he would have done was send out Mewtwo, knock out the Mew, because that's the only way he's going to do it. Then I would have sent out my Mew in the back line, knock out the Mewtwo, and then it would have been his turn. Oh, I can't do anything. He might have another Mew in his deck, we don't know. But the likelihood is he would have been like, I'll send Gardevoir out so you can't knock me out, and the next turn I would have just used Switch and took Mewtwo and knock it out. Because I got 4 energies on. So all I have to do is, once I've got the guarantee I can knock it out, I'll put an energy on, hit, lose 2 energy, he'll send out Gardevoir, put another energy on, switch, hit Mewtwo, win. So that's how I would have won. And that's why I've baited it. I've left it in. I'm hoping, will he switch Mewtwo out and knock it out? He's got 2 energy on the Mewtwo. He can put a 3rd energy on. But what's he going to do? If you're smart... see? Now, there was a play he could have done, but I don't know what's in his hand. That he could have put an energy on the Mewtwo. No, he couldn't have actually. I was thinking, put the energy on the Mewtwo, get 3 on it, wait one more turn, and then play energy on his other Mewtwo. Use that Mewtwo to knock my Mew out, but I'm going to switch within that time. I'm not going to sit there. And then once he knocks it out, then go for the other Mewtwo and knock out my Mew. Really, he just needs to get rid of the Mew in the back line, but he can't. So, going back to what's happening, he's put a 3rd energy on Mew, goes for Psy Shot. He's probably hoping that I'll send out Gengar so that he can use Mew there. But yeah, Budding Expeditioner. Why did I think I was going to draw that? Why did I leave Mew in? Because I had a high possibility of getting it. Even though there's 1 in my deck, if there was 2 it'd be even better. But even though there's 1 in my deck is running thin. So the likelihood of me getting it's higher. Now, we're going to use Budding Expeditioner. Ooh, are we? Sabrina! Why did we do Sabrina? Because Gardevoir comes out. Here's the problem. If I let his Mewtwo's keep packing up all this attack, I'm going to be in trouble. It's better to attack a bit earlier than just leave and let them... Because if you're waiting for the most optimal setting, you're going to lose. Sometimes in chess, you have to go first, and then you have to hope... So this is the logic. With how much cards are left in my deck, it's a good idea to start making moves now when the chances of me drawing the cards I want are lined up. Because I don't want him to get every card in his deck. But if I know I'm going to start getting the cards in my deck, I can start making play, and then it's like maybe a 50% chance I won't get the card. But that's good odds rather than, wait, he has all the cards he can play, I have all the cards I can play, and then he beats me. So, we switch Gardevoir. I'm going to put Mew back in my hand because there's no way I'm keeping him. And I'm going to rely upon a Gengar because I've got 2 in my deck and I know I'm going to draw 1. So, we send out Mew EX. Wait, why did we do that? I'm trying to think. Alright, so we retreat it. We're going to send out Mew. That's a guarantee, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I see now. Gardevoir can't retreat, can it? Gardevoir has got no retreat cost. Gardevoir has got 2 retreat costs and cannot retreat because it's got no energy. So it now has to use both of his energy to get it to retreat, or use an X speed. The likelihood is he ain't going to have a leaf in his hand. So, hit Gardevoir for 60. I'm going to try and get rid of it next turn and then try and finish off the Mewtwo. He's now in a predicament where he has to switch Gardevoir out because if he loses Gardevoir, it's a GG. It's his main bread and butter. I know he's going to do everything he can to keep the Gardevoir. So he's going to try and play Mew again and knock out the other Mew, or he's going to play Mewtwo. But he probably won't go Mewtwo. He'll probably go Mew because Mew's got the energy to retreat. So he's switching. As I thought, he wastes 2 energy. He'll put Mew back out. I'm going to use Sabrina again to bring the Gardevoir back out again and finish it. Because it's either he loses a Mewtwo, 2 energy cards, or he loses the Gardevoir. And if he loses a Mewtwo, he's in big trouble. Because again, Mew is useless at the moment because I haven't played anything that he can use it on. So Mew goes for Sire Shot, hits me for a 20. Let's see what I'm going to do this turn. Mythical Slab. Right. There's 5 cards in my deck. Is it a good idea to use Mythical Slab? Think about it. I've got a Hunter in my deck, a Gengar in my deck, and a Gengar in my deck. That's 3 Pokemon. And then I've got 2 supports. One being a Pokeball, I'm pretty sure, because... Did I use it? No. I think I've already used one of the Pokeballs. But yeah, I've got those already, so I know what 3 of the cards are. I'm, for the life of me, couldn't remember what the other one is. It might be an X-Speed and something else. But the point is, I've got 3 Pokemon. So, it's a good idea to use this slab, because it means I most likely will draw. There we go, we've got Gengar. Perfect. So Gengar comes out. I'm going to put an energy on Gengar as well. So, let's see what we do. We should go Gengar. I think we're going Gengar. Now, Gengar's going to hit, knock out the Gardevoir, so he can't get his energy the way he wants, which is great. He's now forced to stick with the Mewtwo's and the Mew. We got 1 prize card. We need 1 more now. Knock out any of his Pokemon. He might have a budding researcher, but we don't know that yet, and we haven't seen any signs. And because of how his deck is, I doubt he does. But also, we're in the benefit that he can't play support cards. That's a big win. So Mew comes out. Mew's going to hit me. I know he's going to... Oh, he plays another ult. So he's going to try and set up and get it going. That's actually pretty good for him, really, because that means if he does get it going, he can play that out. See, I wasn't thinking of that, was I? So, he hits me for the 100. I'm going to hit him, but then this is like I said. Okay. So, what's in my deck? How much in my deck now? I know I'm going to draw Hunter, most likely. Not guaranteed, but I probably will draw Hunter. So, the aim is to... Hold on, what are we going to do? Am I going to retreat? Am I going to retreat? I put the energy on, so I think I might be retreating. Ooh, see? This is the thing you got to think when you're playing. Because even right now, I've switched to Mew. I'm playing a safer option. Because there is a possibility of gambling and hoping I get Hunter. But if I don't get Hunter, I lose. Because then he'll switch his Pokemon out, and then I have no way of coming back from there. However... Because I've switched, I know what I've done. I'm being scummy. I'm being very scummy. So basically, I'm going back to the same strat I was doing before. I've got the 1 prize card lead, and now I'm trying to be very safe and force him to play Mewtwo so I can one-tap it with Mew. I got the Mew back in my hand, so I'm going to hit 20 on him. He's going to hit 20 on me. 20 back again. I'm in the lead. And if he wants to send out Mewtwo because he's got no choice to knock me out, go ahead. I have another Mew that I'm going to play down now. That's going to one-tap you. If you want to play Gardevoir, go ahead. I will hit you with Hunter. And then let's say you do manage to knock me out, which you probably could. I might even be able to get another Gengar out. So this is what I mean. You've got to have these choices in your head of what you're going to do. So, we send out Ghastly. Put Mew back down. I send Ghastly. I'm trolling hard. So... Mew can't hit me and knock me out. Only thing that could knock me out would be a Gardevoir, which he's going to try and bring out. I've left Ghastly there. I'm probably going to switch him, but I've put him there so Mew has a choice. Mew can just keep attacking me. Sabrina, see? So he's now used Sabrina. I can't use the one with free energy. If I use the one with free energy, I lose. So we send out Mew EX with no energy. It's going to hit me for 20. This deck might actually have a second budding research, I think. I think what it had was the Slav card. One of those and 2 budding researches. So, again, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get another budding researcher in my hand. And I'm just going to stack up my defense until I'm ready to attack. Okay, we got blue. Useless, like I said. Absolutely useless card. I guess I could use him on Ghastly to make him last for one turn earlier. But we're going to start hitting Mew back as well. So we hit Mew, do 20 damage. We're going to just leave the 20 on and just start putting up on Ghastly. Because we can get another Gengar out, we win. Because Mewtwo ain't knocking it out in one tap. So, she uses her thing, puts the energy on Mew. I don't know why she did. I don't understand that logic. Hit me for 20. That's fine. Oh, we did have another Budding Expeditioner, so I win. Right. I actually do just win. It's a win. I can tell. There's nothing he can do to stop me now. So, we hit Side Shot. And we have two choices on how to win. We either... So that he can't keep... He has to have a Budding Researcher. But he can't use it and still win. This is the problem he's running into. Because let's say he uses Budding Researcher, sends out Mew. I just have to attack him 2 more times with Side Shot. And then I just send out Hunter, Gengar, and I win. And there we go. He conceded. He conceded because he knew it was a lost cause. Doesn't matter what you have in your hand. You can't do nothing in that scenario because I've outplayed you. I've outfought everything that you can do and everything I'm going to do. So that's just one idea of how top players think when they're playing a game. They don't just sit there and think, I've got this meta deck. I'm going to win because I just got to get this, and that out, and that's it. You have to look at every possibility that you've got left, the possibilities your opponent has left, and then you've got to think, what's the likelihood of happening, and do you want to bet on that chance? A great example is, let's say a Gyarados deck. Misty. Most water decks rely upon Misty way too much. If your Misty gets a Tails, GG, you've lost. That's it, you've lost. You can't do nothing. Because half the time you're reliant on getting those 3 heads or 2 heads just so you have a chance for the deck to work. That's not good. Now I'm going to use this deck. This one's a complete version, actually. And we're going to use it on one more duel. And this time, I want you to look and see if you see any misplays. Okay? So here's the deck. I'm going to just preview it so you can see what's actually in it. We got 2 Gengars, Hunter, 2 Gastlys, 2 Mew EXs, an X-Speed, 2 Pokeballs, red card, 2 Mythical Slabs, 2 Researchers, 2 Sabrinas, and 2 Expeditioners. That's the deck. So it's basically double of everything, alright? Apart from X-Speed. You should be able to keep track. Now, I'm going to jump midway into the game, just to give you an idea, and I want you to see if this is a misplay or not. So I'm going to let it play out a little bit. So, as you can see on the board, we got Mew EX, Hunter, Gastly, we got a Gengar in my hand, Researcher. So, put the energy on the Hunter, evolve to a Gengar, see what my opponent's got on the board, Budding Expeditioner, put the Mew back in our hand, so Arbok prevented it from moving if you didn't notice, so it was actually trapped in, so that's to get it out. Now we're going to play Gengar. Gengar's going to one-tap the Arbok. We put Mew back out. We didn't use the Researcher, because if we used the Researcher, we couldn't use the Expeditioner, and we were giving him 2 free prize cards. We knocked out the Arbok, but, as you can probably tell, just by looking at what my opponent has on the field, just quickly, he hasn't got any EXs, has he? He's got a Pidgeotto, but the normal Pidgeotto, which means the likelihood is he hasn't got... Sorry, Pidgeot. The likelihood is he hasn't got a Pidgeot EX in his deck. He's using Weezing, he's switching Pokemon around. So the likelihood here in my mind is telling me he probably has another Pidgeot EX in his deck. He's going to be playing single prize card slots, so I can't afford to give him 2 for an EX, because that's going to be hard to come around and win. But, at the same time, I can afford to... Well, if I knock out a Pokemon, then it puts us on even ground, in my opinion. Because now I have to knock out 2, he has to knock out 2. Whereas before, it would have been I have to knock out 3, he knocks out 2. Which is a disadvantage for me. So now he can't play support cards. Which is good, because Koga can't be used. See, we've disabled part of his deck. So he sends out Pidgeot, and we know he's going to switch my Pokemon. And do you want to know why he's going to switch my Pokemon? It's either I send out Mew EX or Gastly. What do I do in that scenario? I think Gastly is better to go, because there's no point trying to go for 2 Gengars. That's very hard to pull off. Unless you get to like the first match, going for 2 Gengars is dumb. Really, you should only stick with 1. So he's going to most likely switch, because it's a free Sabrina, Pidgeot's effect. Get Gengar to come out. get Gas. He's hoping Mew will come out. I'm going to send out Ghastly. Because, again, I have no way to get Mew back into my hand. So I can either give him the free price card now, and then I have to keep all my Pokemon alive, or I risk Mew getting hurt, and that puts me in a bad scenario. So we send out Ghastly. We're sacrificing Ghastly to the Pidgeot, which means you just got to knock out one more Pokemon. So he's in an advantage. I'm in a disadvantage. Knocks out Pidgeot. Sucks, but it is what it is. Sometimes you got to sacrifice a Pokemon. It's chess move. So we send out Gengar, and now we are going to do some damage back. It's my turn. He can't use support cards. I got Sabrina. This is good. This is good. I don't want to use Sabrina. I want to use Oats Research because I need to have some survivability. So here's a problem. I've lost Ghastly, so Hunter, dead card. Gengar, dead card. They're both still in my deck. How much cards are left in my deck? So this is good. This is good because you can see my discard pile now. So we've got Budding Expeditioner, Researcher. Basically, every card you can think of, I've lost one of them. So I've got another Mythical Slab, and I'm debating, should I use it or not? The Pokemon in my discard, so the Pokemon I have left in my deck are Hunter, Mew, and that's it. Hunter. Ghastly's in the discard pile. Yeah, Hunter and Mew. That's it. How much cards are left in my deck now? I'm going to have a check. And the amount of cards in my deck are 4. I have a Hunter and a Gengar. And there's 4. Sorry, no, I don't even have a Hunter. I have a Gengar left in my deck. And a Mew EX. That is it. That's all that's left in my deck. Mythical Slab is a 50% chance I will get it. But there's a problem here. A Budding Expedition is also on my deck, and a Sabrina. Let's say I don't get the Gengar or the Mew. That now means whatever support card goes there, say it's Sabrina, it goes at the bottom of my deck. So it's Budding Expedition that goes at the bottom of my deck. They're 2 win cons of how I can win. Do I want them in the bottom of my deck? I do not. But it's a choice. What do? Do I draw one more card, say it's Budding Expeditioner, and then use it, because then that means, I'll cycle from my next 2 Pokemon? Or do I hold on to it? Sorry, or do I use it now and then risk it? I wouldn't have used it, but whilst I was making it, I thought it would be a good idea to show why this is a misplay. So we use it, and let's see what happens. Worst case scenario. Budding Expeditioner is at the bottom of my deck now. That is bad. That is very, very, very bad. Because that was my get Mew out of jail card. What can I do in that scenario? Actually, sorry, I think the next card's a Pokeball. So it's Pokeball, Budding Expeditioner. Yeah, I think that's it. So now what do we do? Because it's at the bottom of my deck. I need that card. Or I'm going to run into a scenario because he's going to switch Mew out again, hit Mew. I'm going to knock it out. And as you can see, he's building up for another Pidgeot. If he gets another Pidgeot out, I lose. He sends out Weezing though, so that way I can't knock out Pidgeot and he can keep switching in the back line. And Weezing, with the poison, with the weakness and everything else, that's 70 damage on a Mew. So 50, 10, and then 10 on my turn. Yeah, he'll win. So that poison, hit me. I think it's, yeah. Poison, hit me, 50, on 80 health, plus the poison, 10. That's not good. So, I use Pokeball. We get the Mew, which is what we need. This means we can last a tiny bit longer. So I'm going to send out Mew. I'm going to retreat my Mew EX for Gengar EX. Why am I going to do that? Well, one, if he has a Giovanni, I lose. We don't know if he has a Giovanni. Most people aren't running it, but he might have one. We send out Gengar, we hit the Weezing, do 100 damage. They're all on 10 HP. Basically, they're all one-shot capability now. What he could have done, and what I think he should have done, is just attack the Gengar and force me to switch and lose all my energy. That, in my opinion, would have been a smarter move. Because if you attack the Gengar, your Pokemon all last longer, and for me to set up my Mews in time will take a long period. And it's a lot easier to deal with a Mew than a Gengar doing 100 damage. Mew would maybe 2-3 shots. Gengar 2 shots guaranteed. Some Pokemon 1 shot. So that's what he should have done, but he didn't. So, let's see what happens. I'm going to hit it for 100. See, he's switching my Pokemon. I send out Mew EX. He's going to hit me with a poison. The reason we don't want to be at 70 health is because let's say Pidgeot comes out, hits me with its wing attack. I lose. He's got a second Pidgeot now. That's a problem. Which means I now need to hit Pidgeot again. This is what I mean. If he focused on my Gengar, I would lose because I wouldn't be able to get rid of Pidgeot in time. So, also he'd be able to use his support cards if he draws any. Because he might have a Koga, but he can't draw it. So yeah, hits me with Weezing, 50 damage plus the poison, puts me in 70 damage range. I can't do nothing there. I draw Bud and Expeditioner. Wonderful. Which means last card on my deck is going to be Gengar. I put me back in my hand, which means I got 2 more turns. 2 more turns to work around it. But I win. At this point, I've won. Why have I won? Well, I'm going to attack Weezing and knock it out because he left Weezing in. Then he'll send out Pidgeot because he has no choice. I'm then going to Sabrina next turn and win. Because I have another Mew there, he'll attack me next turn and he can't do anything. So, whereas if he was smart and just focused on the Gengar and got rid of that, or forced me to have a dead Gengar there, let's say he was switching my Pokemon around and I didn't have the Mew. Would have beat me. Even if I didn't, by the time I got my Pokemon ready to attack, he would have beat me. So he should have focused on the Gengar. It would have changed the scenario, but because he chose to focus on a Mew, because it looked easy target, and he wasn't checking how much cards were left in my deck and thinking, he's played a Budding Researcher, he probably has another one. He's played one Sabrina, he probably has another one. He'll be fine. But because he didn't think of that, we're in a scenario where I've just won. So I'm going to let it play out. I've won. So Mew comes out, hit the Weezing, knock it out, switch out Mew, and then when we switch to that Mew, I'll send out Gengar, and I'll use Sabrina, and he'll quit. Unless he's the man who wants to stay there and get beaten, but he'll most likely quit. So, there we go. 2 prize cards. Sends out Pidgeot. No choice. If he had an Arbok, he might have been fine. And my opponent conceded. So, that's me breaking down how competitive people think when they play this game. They keep track of what's in the discard pile, not between what they have, so they know what's in their deck. They keep track of what their opponent has, because what their opponent has dictates on how that is going to go. You need to be thinking. Think of Yu-Gi-Oh! What's it called? I'm saying Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Think of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. That's it. You say. You know when it shows that part where he sees all the cards and sees what the play is going to be? You want to be thinking like that. You want to be knowing what move they're going to likely do, what move you're going to do, what could be left in their hand, what's in their deck. Based off of how they're playing, you get an idea. I knew he would have a Pidgeot because, 1, he played Pidgeot already. 2, he put his Pidgey out, went Pidgeotto, so he's going for the Pidgeot. Whereas if he had an Arbok and he thought he was going to get one, he would have put an energy on Ekans and then may have tried to evolve it next turn. But when he played Ekans, he would have put an energy on it and I would have been like, oh, okay, he has an Arbok. That's what you've got to pay attention to these type of things. You know what type of card your opponent has depending on where they put the energy. You know what they're trying to play based off of where they put the energy. If someone's got a Magikarp and a Starmie, I don't know why you run that, but let's say you got a Starmie and a Magikarp. If I'm putting my energy on Magikarp and not Starmie, then the likelihood is I've got a Gyarados in my hand with Misty, or else I wouldn't do that. It makes no sense. That's a stupid play. But if I have, let's say Celebi deck, I can never remember what the basic form is. Let's say you got Celebi Mew deck. That's a good idea. If I put an energy on a Mew and not Celebi, so the likelihood is I'm going to try and use Mew rather than Celebi because I haven't got confidence I'm going to win just off of the Celebi. I'm focusing on the Mew. And let's say it's a Mewtwo deck that comes out, and Celebi's like, it's probably better not to go Celebi, but use Mew instead to take out the Mewtwo, and then have a Celebi as a backup, just in case. But these are the things you have to think of if you want to play at a competitive level. Like I said, I've rambled on long enough, longer than the video had a right to be. But the reason people aren't winning who play meta decks is because they're not thinking of these extra little tips. You want to be always tracking what cards have been played, what cards your opponent has left, what cards left in your deck, what winning conditions you have, and you need to be thinking how to manipulate your opponent into doing what you want. If your deck, like I said, if your deck is reliant on Misty, I feel bad for you. Because if you get a Tails, majority of the time you've lost. If your deck is like, say, Celebi, I've had an opponent who had to flip the coin 10 times and he got 3 heads. Imagine if he got 2 heads. He would have lost. But you can see the percentage increased. If he only needed, which I think he did, 2 heads to win, and he has to flip 10 coins, that's good. That's a 90% chance he's going to win. 90% chance? I can't do maths. 80% chance he's going to win. It's a 20% chance he'll lose and fail. That's what you need to do every time you're thinking. When you're going to draw a card, you got to think, it's a 30% chance I'll draw this card. If it's a 50% chance, or let's say it's a 75% chance you're going to draw the card you want, that's good. Play in percentages. Don't think, hey, it's good that I might draw this card, but there's like 8 cards in my deck, so I have to hope I get this one card in my deck. That's not good. That's not good. If you've got, say, something like, oh, it's Professor Research, and you've got 2 in your deck, and you've got this one card you need, and there's 8 cards in your deck, now it's a, let's say Professor Research means you'll draw 2 cards. So that's 3 cards you could draw, or you might not even draw that and you draw 1 card. You see how the percentage dips and it shifts now. Professor Research, or let's say you had 2 Pokeballs in your hand. No, you have to draw Professor Research. But let's say you need to draw Professor Research. Sometimes it's good to hold 4 cards in your hand because, hey, if someone's running a red card and you've got a bad hand, you're like, oh, I'm going to brick. I need a better hand. I need something different. Hold 4 in your hand. Let them use red card. Put them back in your deck. Draw 3 cards. Maybe that's the card you need. You have to be thinking of these possibilities when you're playing, because if you do that, then you will be able to play at a competitive level, and you won't always be seeing loss despite running your meta deck. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a lovely discussion. I hope you got some value out of this. I've shown some examples on the screen. I know it is long. Please take what information you can out of that. I will be taking certain decks, dissecting them, and showing how to play them at the top level, what you need to think about, and I will be posting online. I plan to do one of these every other day if I can. Why not? Also, I've got my shorts and other videos. I've got some shorts on Pokemon Pocket. I've got just general shorts about Pokemon. I've got challenges, which I'm going to be posting as well. There's a lot on here. So if you like anything, please subscribe. Get me to 1K. And again, if you enjoy my content, don't be a stranger. Drop me a like and subscribe. If you hate my content, don't be shy to dislike only to the side. Comments, ladies and gents. And until next time, goodbye.